Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another chapter of the Cinnamon Chat. I'm here with my friend Laura and Conal from Blonde and Beyond. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
How's it going?
Well, guys, now it's a pleasure after a few months getting to know you guys, being here. Please tell us a little bit about how this began.
Okay. You go.
Well, we practically know each other like friends now because we've lived in Cusco for what, 8 months? 9 months? Yeah. And when we quit our jobs about a year ago, we wanted just to travel full time, and the dream. We didn't really know what we were going to do, so we came up with the name Blonde and Beyond because, it's actually supposed to be black and blonde to begin with, because I got black hair and always got blonde. It's simple as that, real straight to the point, because that's who we are. And we've just been traveling. We got stuck here in Peru. Of all places, I think it was kind of a godsend to be stuck here rather than somewhere else in South America, because it's beautiful here. It's got so much, it's got everything that we need, and it's cheap and cheerful, which is good. So 9 months down the line, we're locals, just like yourself. You're from Lima, aren't you?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we're both newly instated locals to Cusco, I would say.
We're trying to get them their Peruvian ID, so
yeah. We pretend we have a DNA or
DNA. You got it.
Yeah. We've had a blast, and thanks to you, you've been showing us around and giving us some advice. So it's made the stay a lot better. I'm glad you could come back because you got stuck in Lima, didn't you?
Yeah, for 2 months. So I went to Lima to visit my family. I spent some birthdays there. And then they tried quarantine here in Cusco. So although Lima was open, I could not come back for another 45 days. So I spent those extra days in Lima, then I came back here.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what has been one of the most interesting experiences while going overseas.
Well, Laura and I have been traveling. We've left. Laura's from Northern Ireland. I'm from Ireland. I'm from Dublin. You're from
Belfast.
Close to Belfast.
So the north, he's in the south.
Yeah. Sworn enemies of the past.
Yeah, definitely. Trying to change it.
Yeah. But we've been traveling since we were young. So we met in New Zealand during the middle of our travels only about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I've done America, Australia, New Zealand, and Laura's done Australia, New Zealand, and is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Australia, New Zealand.
And we met in Queenstown in New Zealand, and basically met her in her job and said, "Hey, do you want to come traveling with me? I'm planning on quitting my job and going traveling in South America."
It's all good.
Yeah. And a year down the line, we quit our jobs a year ago. And
a year ago this month. Yeah,
and started online businesses, e-commerce, drop shipping, and a few other hustles, and it's been going pretty well. So I think we're retired. It's official. 25 and 30.
Early retirement.
I had an amazing Instagram page, guys. I really like your photos. So if you're looking to this, you need to click the link below in their Instagram and follow them because they have an amazing shots.
We're not very we're pretty shy in front of the camera.
We're not good at posing. We're not your standard Instagram couple.
Yeah.
We're not going to be kissing and holding each other up in the air or anything.
That's not what we do.
No,
yeah,
we can't do it.
And it's usually just one of us in the photos. Too, because
and we just try and make it real. Real views on stuff, not it's high editing or anything. It's colourful. It's fun.
Like the long dresses.
No, we can't do that. I can't bring 10 dresses with me in my bag. You know what I mean? No.
And a lot of the locations are free as well, because
Yeah.
being Irish, we're super scrimpers,
What's a scrimper?
A super scrimper is watching every cent.
So you can extend your travels as far as possible.
Exactly. And we originally left with a savings that we accumulated between us for I think a year and a half that we saved in New Zealand, and we've barely gotten through half of that, and that's indulging as a super scrimper. I'm originally a chef, Laura's a bartender, so you know, like we can cook up a storm and make a nice drink, you know, for as cheap as possible, which is good, you know. And I think you need to be able to do that stuff traveling, you know, because now we can last another year if we don't make it a cent extra with our other income streams.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So you guys been here since February, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
February, right?
First week of February.
Yeah, that's why when we connected and Mr.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, pretty much when we first got here.
Yeah, so that's when then the quarantine happened in March. So like, what was one of the main criteria that make you guys stay here?
Mostly the fact that like our country itself was probably more risky to go back to. Our parents were kind of like pushing us away from the idea of like coming back because we would just have to quarantine there. And it was probably more dangerous. They didn't have as many rules in effect or anything, so they weren't making people wear masks or wash their hands or anything. So for us, it was like we felt actually safer to stay here in Cusco than to go anywhere else and be at more risk.
Yeah, because there was repatriation flights and they were like really expensive.
Yeah.
Like to be honest, we didn't consider it at all.
No.
You know,
we felt
like
safe, we felt comfortable.
You know, like everything was around. We didn't mind being quarantined. We could just work away, you know, online on our things. And for like literally the whole 8 months, we were working hard. You know, like you know yourself. Since we met Cinnamon Traveler, all we do is talk about work. You know, you know, I'm sure he's sick of it. Like it really is. Yeah, we're pretty work driven, and like that was our focus. You know, to just really learn new skills and stuff like that. And coming out of it now with a little bit of freedom, it all seems worth it.
Yeah,
you know. It's like the light at the end of the tunnel, you know. Yeah, it's been fun. And but with in terms of like heading back to Ireland, it seemed to be worse there. Like Peru actually had, you know, things in place to prevent the spread, like having your mask on constantly if you're going to go out, and having your hands sprayed when going into a supermarket, and having your temperatures taken. Whereas in Ireland, they've only recently have to put on masks like when they go out. Like they've only recently gotten strict.
And now it's in another lockdown.
Yeah,
over there.
they couldn't
so
believe
we
that we
can't
had to wear
actually go
masks.
back still.
Oh, wow.
So we're just gonna stay here a bit longer.
Yay!
Yeah, I mean, don't mind. You know, no plan to go back. No.
So like whenever you guys realized that the lockdown was going to happen and you guys were going to stay longer, did the shape of like staying for a visit and then having to live there like change probably rapidly, right? So you have to adjust to some things that you are normally you didn't expect it to. So how do you guys navigated that?
Well, I feel like cumulatively, like we've been, you know, as I said before, we've been traveling for like 6 years, 7 years before we moved to South America. Each so like problem solving and that kind of strange stuff, like with visas cancelling, you know, and having to stick and leave.
Things happening.
Yeah, using your network, you know, like finding out like if you have to leave a country, or you have to stay in a country for some reason. Like thinking on your feet is kind of like what we do, you know. It's something that is like second nature.
That's kind of what like made us come here sooner as well, because Conal had problems with his visa in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So, and it was the last minute, and it was like he had to leave the country in 3 days. So I was on my own for 4 months, and it was just like adapt.
Yeah.
And it's fight or flight, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you just gotta act. And for us, it was like contacting our Airbnb host and seeing what we could do, if we could stand it for how long we could stay, and just thinking ahead. You know?
Yeah, and the good thing was our Airbnb host was delighted that we would stay, because we were only supposed to stay there for like 2 months.
Yes.
So when we were like, it was probably like 2 weeks before we were supposed to leave, and then the pandemic kind of like got serious here, and the lockdowns and everything, so we weren't allowed to leave and we had to consider staying. So our Airbnb host was supposed to get someone from Barcelona to take our room, and he obviously couldn't come. So she was like, "Yeah, you can stay." Yeah. So 8 months down the line, you know, like,
we're still there.
She's been delighted that a room is being filled for the whole thing. I
It's
suppose.
worked out.
That's
you know.
That's awesome. So what do you guys feel like you guys have learned during all this month living here in Peru about yourself and about Peruvian culture?
What have we learned?
What have we learned about ourselves? I think it's been very testing. It's been quite hard at some points, especially when it was like the extreme lockdown. And we couldn't go like walking. Like normally we hike and explore places and whatever, and we couldn't do anything. So that was the hardest thing
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it was just kind of, we started exercising at home and just trying to get ourselves out of a funk and not really get stuck in like doing nothing, eating food all the time. I'm sure it's tempting for everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty hard.
Mhm.
Yeah, you learn a lot. Yeah.
Like when we first met, we were always working separate jobs. Like I was a night manager of a restaurant, you know. So like my schedule was like from 4 p.m. to like 2 a.m. whereas Laura's was a little bit earlier. She'd finish earlier, so we didn't see like as much of each other as we did when we started moving and when we got locked down together. So we drove each other mad for a while.
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
Yeah,
it's pretty intense.
Yeah, and that still lingers. We still drive each other mad. You know? That wasn't before, so that's something we've inherited.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's been interesting for sure. But I think it's something that's going to be, you know, the case for a lot of people around the world. You know, and that's also interesting. You know, because we're all going to come out of this something, you know, slightly different. You know, you know, and got stories to tell. You know, like, which is good. Yeah. So I think that's it. Yeah, really, it's been testing and still testing. You know.
Yeah, until everything is sort of like back to a little bit of normality again. I think it's just going to be testing the whole time.
Much.
You know, like until maybe the new year.
Yeah.
You just gotta take it day by day, I guess.
Yeah.
But it is better now that we're like able to go out here in Cusco. Like things are opening back up again, so we're able to go hiking and explore like archaeological sites, which is way better.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Yeah.
You guys been doing great. You guys made your way around. You guys make trips now.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing how you guys.
Yeah.
I just.
We don't use the map on the phone anymore. Like I just know Cusco.
It's just like
Just by eye. Yeah.
170 walks into you get.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like
we walk a lot.
Like the other day, we took a colectivo, which is one of the little minibuses here, and we went out to Pisa, and that's our first time out of Cusco in 9 months. So that was big.
So Pisa finally has been open. So, but I hear that you guys also love Peruvian food, right?
Love it.
What has been the top 3 dishes that you guys like?
Well, we are really lucky that the Airbnb that we live in it's an old style colonial house that has like 2 courtyards and like two families that are related. And then one of the head chefs, executive chefs of a lot of big restaurants here in Cusco and Lima. So he's like, you know, he's been our guy. You know, he's been, you know, we chat with him. And so he's like every week, maybe twice a week. You know, he's like, hey guys, do you want to cook this this dish like like huancaína, or what's the potato layer one? Causa. So we can make causa, we can make huancaína sauce.
As taught to us by this man.
So
if you
the
need to know how
huancaína
to make
sauce.
huancaína sauce, which is a Peruvian tradition, it is absolutely delicious. And Cinema Traveler will teach you. It's great. So that's probably one of my favorites, actually.
So he's basically just, it's really nice.
So that and the causa, which is like layers of yellow potato with like tuna or chicken and avocado. And probably, I'm trying to think of what
we've made papa. Can you say?
Papa rellena.
Papa rellena.
Yes, that's another good one. But we feel that making it, but you can get them all over Peru, like on the streets. It's like stuffed potato.
It's like potato, mashed potato, yellow potato, and then you put like either a meat mix or veggie mix, anything you really want, and then you fold it over and put it in the deep fryer.
We're so passionate about our food, as you can tell. That's
So,
our 3 favorites, I think.
But yeah, he's been keeping it interesting. You know, like he's you know made homemade Peruvian dishes like once or twice a week, which is great.
That's awesome.
You know, so we've got that. You know, that's been fun. You know, a few drinks, a few dishes. Now
after COVID and all the things, what are some things that you are looking forward to as you're traveling?
Just exploring somewhere new again, I guess. I'm like, we really want to go and explore more South America, because our plan was to do the whole South America in like 1 year, go to Ecuador and travel on up to like Colombia and everything like that there. So that is our plan. Can't wait to go to Ecuador in the new year, and we'll just take it as we go. We're slow travelers, so we stay like a couple of months in places to really take it in and like learn about the place.
It's so it can become part of the furniture,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and not be rushing things or
Yeah.
anything. Stuff comes to us, you know. We get to meet locals and become friends,
Yeah.
and just learn a little bit more, you know. And it's like, you know, we don't like to like up and go all the time, you know. Like to settle down in the place so we can get things done as well, you know, and recenter. Yeah, we're more long-term travelers. We always have been, you know.
So we can't wait to just go and explore somewhere new. But for now, we're happy until New Year, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, we think Ecuador next. Yeah, by the beach.
The beach.
Yeah, I would think we need some beach.
Galapagos, right?
Yeah, the
yeah.
Galapagos just off
It's off the
Ecuador.
coast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we were gonna stay like 4 hours outside GIP. So
Yeah,
we'll
Yeah.
see what happens.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and also after like being stuck inside and working, you know, we're pretty much self-sufficient now, so we can just travel anywhere, which is great.
That's
you know?
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, guys, I'm really excited for you guys' journey for your journey in the coming years,
Thanks,
and
man.
really has been a pleasure to get to meet them in person.
Okay.
We first connected through Instagram just to send messages, and we were able to meet, and then we were able to have like this interview. So it has been a really great experience. So we want to say hi to our friends from Love and Postcards and some other Instagrammers. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. It's been a
All right,
pleasure.
man. Put it there.